Hello and welcome to Anthro Crossroads East. I'm your captain, Cutter Badger. And joining me to help get ready for your flight is the lovely Michaela.
The only reason I'm here is because you promised me a $20 Starbucks gift card.
We won't answer if this is true or not. So before we take off for a fun weekend, let's just go over a few things.
What are you? Are you a dog?
And please, no wooing. We know how much you canines like to woo. Remember, $350 fine. And please remember that ACE cannot be responsible for any breakage, damage, or loss, including theft to your personal property during the event.
Oh my god, come back here, you mutt!
And remember, we want everybody to be safe this weekend, so please, no wild stampedes. We can't afford another Lion King incident.
PSL!
Is it still too soon for that? And please remember that alcohol not bought inside the Hampton Inn is not allowed inside the Hampton Inn ballrooms. So have fun, but please be safe. But let's not forget some of the fun events we're going to have this weekend. Get ready for the lip sync battle, a battle between your friends to see who's the best. And let's take it to the floor where you'll have a dance-off between your friends. We'll also be having a variety show where you can show off your talents. Show us what you've got. We have lots of plans for a fun weekend, so if you're ready, let's take off, Ace.
Welcome to Anthro Crossroads East.
All right, so how do I get lights on here? There we go. Wow.
Cabin pressure!
All right, so let me also get notes up here because middle age is a cruel master and the memory is the first thing to go. So first things first, I've got to put a couple disclaimers out here. If you are my staff, you already know this. First things first, Cutter may swear. Don't take this the wrong way, but you just cannot retrain those neurons. I will try to catch them before they come out. Secondly, especially for this event, and here we go. Cutter may start crying. We're going to deal with this. And if you're on my staff, get those cameras out because you're not going to see this again anytime in the near future. So first and foremost, welcome to Anthro Crossroads East. This has been a very long trip. Some of us have been on more recently. Some of us have been on since the beginning.
Do it.
I'm not going to intensify the crying, sorry.
Get over it.
Video blackmailers. Oh, look, it's going away. Perfect. You know, a cardiac episode kills part of your heart in 2008. Now, you just have those little zombie moments where it comes back, but we've squashed it. So, how did we get here? So, for some of you, how many of you, ACE is your first experience with Tarpaw Fur Meat as an organization? Like, no other meets, Howler's Eve, nothing. This is your first time hanging with us. Oh, look at those hands. Thank all of you. I love everybody in this room, but those first time hands, at least for right now, I love you just that much more. So to kind of get, oh, you're stuck with me, honey. You can't leave. I know where you sleep. And you sleep hard, and I'm a stealthy fat man. Try it. So let's, very quickly, I just kind of want to catch you all up as to where we are. This actually began on a June day in 2016. I was sitting in my office. I was watching, just because this is kind of a weird thing, if you remember the old 1966 Spider-Man series, somebody took all those old music tracks and put them together in a YouTube file. And something in the back of my mind says, you know what, we need to have a furry convention in the area. You know, we have this group, Triangle Area Furries. First Saturday of every month, they have a picnic, and there's like 60 people there. We can make something happen with 60 people. 60 people can grow. So for about 2 weeks, I put 3 conventions together. Get me drunk enough, and I will tell you the story, and you're paying for the therapy afterwards. After about 2 weeks, I put together some logistics and some plans and some things, and then I called Ian Otter. And we had the July pull-in picnic. So he came back to my house to hang out, and after about 3 or 4 hours, I said, you know what, we need to have a convention, and I love you.
Oh no. I said, no, this is crazy.
You don't want to do this, this is crazy, it'll fail, you'll lose money. It's like, yeah, no, I won't do that, I'm miserly, trust me, I will find a way to make it profitable. So after about 2 hours of henpecking and nagging, I finally got him on board and kind of dumped the information that I had. Folks from on the outside, come in, we'll find space for you somewhere, it's a big room.
Welcome aboard.
So, by the end of the night, yeah.
Hey guys, can we circle around the room a little bit, make some room over on the side? Thank you.
Thank you.
So by the end of that night around 4 a.m., we had all of the logistics up in place. We had the Twitter, like any social media, we grabbed the name Tarpaul Fur on. We had a code of conduct. We had everything in place for what we called Tarpaul 1. Tarpaul 1 was kind of the test the water events. That is to say, can we put together an event and Cutter does not lose his shirt? Because believe me, you don't want to see this without a shirt on, at least most of you. So Tarpaul 1 happened, we're not going to be overly political, but Tarpaul 1 happened right after the election in 2016, and a lot of us needed an opportunity to party and just kind of come together. We broke, by the hairs of my chinny chin chin, we broke even. But I decided to push forward. So by this point in time,
I got voluntold.
Ion was on board. My 2 partners, Tim and Drew, were on board handling registration. They were voluntold.
No,
I was voluntold too.
You were coaxed forcibly.
That's not the way it happened.
In the parking lot of Tarpaul 1, I had 2 people say, can we help? And yeah, wouldn't you know, I just bought about 6 or 7 orange vests in various sizes. So Mikey joined us and Merck joined us doing parking control. I love you all, but y'all are standing up in a bit. Hold with me. We started to plan the 2017 events, and the idea was, I knew everybody wanted a con, and this is kind of one of those, you know, my staff has heard this again and again and again, and don't think, so quick thing, if you know anybody who knows how to create acetate badges on the cheap, ideally for cost, please let me know, because our contact is graduating and she is leaving her machine behind to go to the West Coast. When I tell you all on staff, I'm making you keychains that says trust the badger, I'm not bullshitting on that. I just need to get that order to Lyra and get that taken care of. This was a big giant trust the badger moment. Because I've been telling everybody from the beginning, we will have a con, we will have a con, we will have a con. We have to build up to it first. In other words, you know, we're not going to dive straight in. I know of several cons that did exactly that, and they wound up in the red and they crashed. That's why if you look them up on Wikipedia, they have 1 year, $10,000, and they made $2,000 back. And the organizer said, wait a minute, I don't like this $8,000. That's not a real con, by the way, but hypothetical situation. So we started building small. We did the models last year where we had one night at the Elks Lodge, we had a night out here for the welcome dance, and then we met out at Pullen Park for this kind of, you know, hangout picnic. And we started growing, we started adding staff. And finally I said, in October, it's like, you know what, let's do it, con mode. We found the weekend, we found everything, believe me. If you want to plan a furry convention, get a calendar, get a map, and look for the appropriate intersection where the 2 don't overlap. It is not that easy. Some legacy cons have the ideal placement. So we started putting this together. And again, we are in a small hotel. If you were at our events last year, we began on Friday night in this very ballroom by doing a welcome dance. And now we're here, we've got the whole space for the whole weekend to do our first full convention. And wait until Sunday. It's really hard. If you know me, you know I hate keeping secrets, and you know I've got a big blabbermouth. Wait until Sunday. That is all I am going to say on that. So here we are. We are finally at the point where we have our full convention. And it's kind of been, we've been doing it on the cheap. We've been doing it hand to mouth. We've had lots of kind of internal fights about spending money, and I have to be the one, we don't have the money. God damn it, Cutter, you're you're so tight. It's like, well, yeah, because we're not going in the red. We're not going to be that con. I'm not going to put out a GoFundMe to save us when we're $10,000 in the red. So here we are. Thank all of you. This is just the beginning. This is our inaugural flight, the first of many. So thank all of you. One of the things that I want to do with this con is rewrite the playbook. A lot of furry conventions are kind of based on the sci-fi cons in the 70s and the 80s, and those traditions have carried forward. I kind of want to rewrite the playbook. That's one of our big things that we're trying to do with this event. We don't want to be the new age furry convention, but we kind of want to adapt for the times. So let me say first and foremost, we do have a hashtag this weekend. Hashtag AceFurCon, ACEFURCON. If you can tag everything, it makes it easier to find on Facebook, easier to find on Twitter. Now, let me introduce you to the people who helped make this happen. This is in no order. This was me in my chair up in my room about 2 hours ago, looking at Telegram and looking at all the names on Telegram shift as they were participating. So, I verified with 2 of my staff. This is a complete list, but the order is random. Wherever you were in Telegram when I started doing this is where you are on this list. I love all of you equally. I'm sorry that Telegram doesn't. So first and foremost, up here next to me, and I had to give him top billing because he was the first staff person to join me, is Ion Otter. He is our assistant director. He is me when I cannot be there, and I am too cheap to clone myself, and 2 fat guys is too much right now. So. Ask for staff. Please come up and join us up here. We got a lot of room, but you've been at a table at Stromboli's for our staff meetings. We can do a lot in a small space with our bodies. Next up is our head of animal control, Merc, who is just there and vanished. There you are. Up next is our head of programming, and if you see me taking my backpack off, yes, you should be nervous. One of the cool things that I love about doing this con is I get to go out shopping. And sometimes when I go out shopping, I will see things and that thing says, you need to buy me for someone. And in this case, our head of programming, Mikey, listen, gravity always works. It's the one thing you depend on. Our head of programming, Mikey. So Mikey, please come up. Mikey, as I was buying things for ConSuite last night, I saw this, and it said, buy me for him. You can take it out of the bag.
All right. Drum roll.
It's like your birthday. Everybody's on with your camera phone.
Death by deep.
You are very welcome. Thank you. Next up are 2 people who not only make this con run, but they make my life run.
Who's cutting the onions? Who's cutting onions?
Don't tell me, goddammit. Goddammit, for you starting this. You were the one who said yes when I asked you in a relationship. So take it through. 2/3 of the team that we have come to call the Reg Bears. Our registration, these are the first faces that you encounter no matter when we are having an event, at least until I can get more volunteers for them. I'm working on it, I promise. So, I need my arm back. I appreciate the affection, but I can't operate this from a distance. Next up is our 3rd member. So he's a squirrel, but technically he's a bear, Jeff. Next up is our volunteer coordinator, Chesney. Pilot for a few minutes, Gail, the horrible pungaroo. You are so lucky the mic is not that sensitive. You are all welcome. What did you say? What was that?
I said nothing.
She said horrible.
So, next up, is our medical and first aid lead, a woman so dangerous you do not want to piss her off because she will break something if she punches you. Sarah, where are you?
What does the other guy look like?
Well, see, somebody keeps saying, Sarah, help me! Y'all are gonna make me break every bone in all my hands.
Gail, would you please drop that GIF in Tarpaw? I'm sorry. In Anthro Crossroads, Howler's chat. Spread it to everyone. We can't just have Mikey GIFs. Come on. Right. Next up is our head of IT, Lupus. Next up, our most recent sucker, our new head of operations, Jeff Fafa. And Jeff came up here. Something last night said, buy me for him. Uh-oh. Y'all, I love you, but for future cons, now that I'm not doing the shopping 24 hours in advance, I will start looking for more things for more people. Thank you. Next up is our head of gaming, Ruko. Next up is our fursuit lead, Draconis. Behind me, and I'm going to step aside, is Knowles, our DJ. Sponsors and super sponsors, I'm going to talk to you in a bit. However, for right now, we would like to recognize Honey, who is running the con suite. And finally, if you've ever seen BoJack Horseman, this is a crossover episode. Fresh to us for Midwest Fur Fest is Brendan Lohawk, who is running our dealer's room. You know what? I had her on the list and I scaled. All right, so one more. Tantrum is running our charity auction. You're on the list, I swear, I just scrolled over. I know one is here, the others may not. We have some people who are on staff who do not have staff titles. They do not have the time to sacrifice. They're smart. But they sit in the staff chat room. So just to recognize them, Dayani, Stakoa, Redneck, and Sabek. Now, we're going to have to do this fast, and you all are witness to what's been a very special ritual for those of us on staff. Tarpaw 2, the prom theme that we had, Hallows Eve 1. Usually I get to do this at about 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon in an all-hands meeting. Unfortunately, because we started at 9 a.m. this morning, and most of us were up all night to begin with, we did not have time for an all-hands. So what I do is I always do some kind of a special thank you badge for my staff. I can't do much. You're going to hear that theme reflected in just a bit for a few other things. But I always do a thank you badge for my staff. So in other words, sponsors and super sponsors get one. I do a special variant color that is only reserved for staff. So this is the badging ceremony. Unfortunately, you've already been introduced and everything. Let me show these off. So, oh yes, very pretty. So one of the things about our theme, for my job, I do a lot of flying. And it just so happened I was picking up a flight and I saw a little child. Right now, this is like September, and I was kind of thinking about the theme, aviation. We're North Carolina, the birthplace of flight. When someone cuts you off on 40 or 440 on your way out, look at that license plate. And before you give the middle finger, look at what's written below it, first in flight. So I was thinking, it's like, how cool wouldn't it be if we all had wings? What's up with somebody fly? I'm like 45 years old. One second. I'm like 45 years old, and I still ask the flight attendant, do you have any plastic wings? You know, so here I am, old, fat, shaved head, middle age. I'm walking off like I'm 7 years old. So we wanted to do wings, and this is a very special theme because this is our first of many full-fledged conventions, and I'm sorry, y'all gotta look at backside for a second because I want to make eye contact.
More onions, more onions.
Oh darn! No one can see me with a camera right now. Well, shit. You all made this possible. From November 2016 to now, Jesus Christ. From November 2016 to now, you all made this possible. And it's been a rough month. We have rubbed each other the wrong way several times. Some of us have had yelling matches at each other, even as early as 3:30 this morning. But I want you to know, you all matter to me. You all are important to me. I could not have done this without you. And like I said, our rule for this weekend is what, Tim?
It is.
What's that rule for this weekend?
To get through the weekend with the convention intact and friendships intact.
So, as I send you back to your seats, I'm going to hand these off. I know it's quick. I wish I had time to do more, but I want to thank, Mark, I want to thank each and every one of you. This would not be possible without any of you. We are a team. We are a single cohesive unit. And this would not be possible without every single person standing in front of me. So if you see orange wings, please take a moment to thank them. Everybody has done a lot of stuff. You know, the one thing about good comm management, and I'm still trying to train my staff on this, if you don't see a fire, that person has done their job well. A lot of you didn't see fires, and again, eye contact moment. A lot of you didn't see fires behind the scenes. So, that is what we want. And no, we're not doing a firefighting motif for another con. 2019 is already planned. I've got stuff printed, contracts signed. So, we can talk firefighters for 2020, maybe. Okay, everybody got wings, right? I don't want anybody getting hurt.
DJ.
DJ. Oh, right. And our first new person. All right. Thank all of you. Okay, go ahead and have a seat. Because I know I am notoriously long-winded, and I'm going to try to keep this as mercifully short as I can. And God damn it, I'm not crying anymore.
Yes, you are.
Bullshit.
I thought y'all were just real big fans of Aerosmith.
Oh, I'm so sorry I forgot to get to you. I'm a teacher by trade. That was a horrible thing. No, not big fans of it. They were okay. But from the classic rock era, I'm more of a Rush dude myself, personally.
Because the badges, they look a lot like Aerosmith.
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so I've had requests from several of the staff to come up and tell you about things they're doing this weekend. First of all, Knowles, do you have a microphone back there?
Sure.
You do? You're the DJ?
Can everyone hear me? So I'd like to know, who's ready for the dances this weekend? Excellent DJ lineup for you. Actually, I think some of the DJs are present right now. So we've got Spike Pat, if you could stand up. Ben, here to bring the hard bass, who's not present. We've got Edgewise, all the way from Austin, Texas. I'll be playing tonight as well. And then tomorrow we've got Cyanide, who will be playing some great music for you. We've got Kanu. And then closing the night out, we've got Genki. So be ready for that. It's going to be some very fast, very awesome music. So come on down, dance. It's going to be awesome.
All right, the next request is from Lupus. Anyway, she said it, not me.
So I just want to let you guys know, over in the game room, we do have a VR showcase for this con. So if you come out, you can sign up. You get to play either with an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive. We have a whole host of games. What's it?
Also PSVR.
We also have a PlayStation VR. So we have a whole host of VR games that you guys can play. So just come down, sign up, and get yourself involved. It's a lot of fun.
And finally, the person who pretty much created all of the entertainment you are enjoying this weekend is Mikey.
I'm glad to say, I think I need that. Hi, everyone!
Hi, Mikey.
Okay, that was pathetic. Do it again. Come on, more energy. Hi, everyone! Much better. Okay, so I'm here to shamelessly plug my events because that's what I do. So, tonight, starting at 8, we do have a lip sync battle. I need 5 more people signed up. Please, I'm begging you to sign up or I'll force you to sign up. You won't like me if I do. Just give you a heads up. We have a station out there that has all the sign-up forms for the dance battle, which will be tomorrow from 5 to 7. And we also have a talent show as well that I still need people for. We're doing a open rehearsal and slash, if you want to come in and try out, it's going to be tomorrow from 1 to 2 in this room. And we actually have a new modification to the schedule as well. We will be doing a fursuit parade tomorrow from 1 to 2. Hosted by this gentleman right here, so give him a round of applause. Just to give you a heads up on some of the main events that we have coming in, we have Who's Work right after this, which is going to be hilarious as hell. I'm also hosting the dance battle as well, because I'm awesome like that. And we also have karaoke tomorrow, so that means you all get drunk and sing songs. Yeah! Okay, that was really pathetic. Do it again. Thank you. And on Sunday, we have various, we also have Uncle Kage doing a story hour on Sunday. And right after that, you're also doing something with Uncle Kage, Mr. Tien Long. Good? Oh, he doesn't know yet. Oh, surprise!
back there.
That's a Fu Manchu. That is a Fu Manchu dragon.
He's got noodles on his face. It's the same person.
Wait a minute, I wasn't aware of this in the schedule. But in any case though, guys, we have a lot of fun things planned. I'm going to be pinning stuff in the Tar Paw general chat, so make sure that you're paying attention to that. And like I said, I need people for the lip sync battle. Sign up. Bye.
I didn't assimilate it. Oopsie. Again, like I said, I feel like I'm in a production of Rent suddenly, you know. Anyway. A couple more things, and we are going to finally get things kicked over here. First and foremost, if you take a look outside, directly outside, you will see our convention charity claws, and they have live birds today. They will have more live birds out tomorrow. We will have a charity auction to give them money. We will have another panel where people try to give them money. Charity, we all can give them money. That's kind of the overwhelming thing. So anyway, if you have some time, step outside and interact with them. They are a local organization, and they do good things.
If you have extra items, you can come give them to me, and I'll make sure that they get auctioned off.
Absolutely. If you have anything that you want to auction off, either give them to Tantrum or drop them off at registration, and registration will get them to Tantrum.
I've already.
So a couple more things. One thing that we kind of want to do with this convention is we kind of want to get away of the idea of a guest of honor, because usually what I've seen in 25 years of going to conventions, you have the guest of honor. The guest of honor makes 1 or 2 appearances and then either hides out in their room or they hang out with their circle of friends and you never see them and you never get to interact with them. And one of the things that we want to make here is kind of an open community. You know, there are several conventions where the con is the extended family. So we have someone who is coming to check out our extended family and party with us. You may have heard about him. He's a relatively recent addition to the big furry family. He found us after some of our, we don't want to call them friends, after acquaintances in Colorado were discovered doing bad things. One of them wrote a rather humorous would-be legal letter And this gentleman, who is an attorney, found it, destroyed it online, and suddenly the fandom found him. And kind of like those old Reese's Peanut Butter Cups commercials from the 70s and the 80s, it was just a match that fit together. So, tonight, he may not show up because he's coming in on a late flight, but tomorrow, the gentleman known as Boozy Badger will be among us. So, several programs that he is putting on. If you see him in the hallway, introduce yourself. I ran into him just by chance in the dealer's room at MFF. Very friendly, very approachable. My sponsors and super sponsors, where are you at? Hands in the air. First and foremost, thank you again. And no, I'm not crying. I'm done with that. I want to remind you, one of the perks that you get is the convention suite up in room 230. If you have a main cabin badge, we love you, but sorry, we have to draw the line somewhere. You can upgrade. We are always happy to upgrade, just like a real airline. You throw us the money and we'll put you in business class or first class. The sponsor suite. First and foremost, a very humble request because we are trying to do this convention on a shoestring budget. Please snack. We are not yet to the grazing point of a convention suite. We cannot offer full meals. We cannot encourage people to come in and pile, I'm not looking at anyone, 7 or 8 plates of food yet. Let's see how the numbers look this year, and then we can talk about grazing next year. Tonight, Ion has been making his amazing meatballs. If you have ever been out to a pull and fur meet, you have had Ion's meatballs before, and I see several heads nodding. Those will be available at 6 o'clock once opening ceremonies closes. They will be there until they are gone. That is not a request to swarm Consuite, but simply a good proactive warning. Tomorrow night, we will have kielbasa and sauerkraut. Additionally, tomorrow night, for our sponsors and super sponsors, because again, if I haven't said thank you enough, we are having a thank you reception for all of you, where there will be more food, so please join us. Again, if you would like to upgrade, go talk to one of the registration bears. They will gladly take your money in exchange for an upgraded boarding pass. I need, where do I start with this? All right, I need a special moment. I asked for all members of Animal Control. So if you are affiliated with Animal Control in any way, shape, or form, Animal Control, please come up here. Animal Control, please come up here.
Surprise.
Animal Control, I'm going to say this again and again and again and again and again.
It wasn't me.
And A, I'm going to grab this because I need to hydrate, and B, so one of the themes from opening ceremonies is that of gratitude. I think I've said thank you about as much as a current president uses obscenities in inappropriate ways, maybe even more. One of the things that I kind of alluded to when I was addressing the staff is sometimes we get so busy fighting the fires so no one else can see the fires burning and nobody else can panic. We sometimes forget things. And I have been in the situation, I love my staff, and I'm going to make eye contact with at least one of them. I love my staff, but my senior level staff have acted in a shield role for the last year. You have a department chair. You don't have to interact with the people down in staff. Let the department chair do it, top down. And that created a situation that we all saw kind of unfold in a very awkward way the other way. That has bothered me. And I wanted to say this in person because I genuinely want you to, again, I'm not crying, sorry, I'm teared out, but that genuinely bothered me. This is not a lack of gratitude situation. This kind would not happen if we didn't have people volunteering to help us out. Unfortunately, here's the downside. If you were at the Howlers Sunday night dinner, if you were at the prom themed Sunday night dinner, Stromboli's Express is a little teeny tiny place. And furries can fill that little teeny tiny place up very much. However, just for full disclosure, we have Stromboli's Express because my partners and I have been having Sunday dinners there since I moved to the area back in 2009. Tara, the manager, for those of you who are on staff, you have heard me say she's extended family. That's not BS. Tara and I will text back and forth, hey, what's going on? How you doing? How's your day going? I do not want to stress that relationship. However, I also did not want to stress my relationship with my staff. So, First of all, I would like to apologize to all of you. None of you were directly slighted because we could not afford. We had a rush of super sponsors, and the staff has grown incredibly. And that little teeny tiny area, to kind of help you visualize, a staff meeting takes up 1/3 of the area that we have for dining. If you add all the super sponsors into it, that's going to explode very quickly. However, I have called Tara. I have told her that we got a cozy con because there's a lot of bodies. Come on, it's warm as hell in here just because we are that close. We're going to have a cozy dinner. So first and foremost, I want to apologize to all of you. It was not a direct slight. Please do not take my silence in that channel as me just kind of lording over you. That is not how it is going to be from here on out. As a leader, and again, I'm a community college professor, I run several programs, my philosophy is to get down and lift with everybody else. This is not me sitting on a pedestal issuing orders. Even if you've been in my classes, and a few furries in this room have been in my classes, you have seen me jump into chat groups and work with people. So, I want to apologize first of all. Secondly, I have pulled out my own visa to cover extra food. I would like all of you to join us Sunday night at the thank you dinner, 7 to 9 p.m. I think the schedule is a blur. So, two things. If you would come up, please grab one of these admission certificates, and also, I want all of you to grab a pair of clear acetate wings. You all have earned that. Thank you. So I'm going to dump these out.
Let's give a round of applause.
Please come up. That is volunteers. Even if you are staff and you have a pair of orange wings, you now have a collection. Grab a dinner admission certificate. Grab a pair of wings. Come. I'm not going to bite y'all. I swear. Contrary to what you've heard, I am not mean. I don't have a temper. I'm a badger. It comes naturally. And again, I want to thank you. Now, this opens up, Lucas, don't think I don't see you hiding out there. I'm a teacher. I got eyes in the back of my head. That was my 5-year upgrade. This brings up another awkward conversation, and we're almost done, I promise. If you think I'm bad like this, try being in one of my classes when I have to lecture or when I'm casting on YouTube. Can I get my volunteers to raise their hand? So if you're one of Chesney's folks, hands up. First of all, everyone, I want everyone to applaud. These are the unsung heroes of our class. And I'm going to say it. People always say, I want to get on staff, I want to get on staff, I want to get on staff. If you're old enough to remember the TV show Fame, I'm kind of like that choreographer in the opening credits. Imagine me sitting down on the stool, pounding my stick into the ground. This is where you start paying. Volunteering is where you get your foot in the door, because what we do at the end of every con, we've got vacancies on staff, we have new staff positions, things are opening up. Where do we get the people? That's when my volunteer person says, you know what, I have these 3 amazing volunteers. Then we try to say, okay, where can we fit them in? So, volunteers, I do not want you all to feel left out. What you do is valuable, we appreciate you, and I promise you, for 2019, we are doing something for you. I can't say anything yet because I gotta have a surprise for Sunday, but bear with us. We are doing something for everybody in 2019, including the volunteers. Just like I've been saying to my staff for the last year, you gotta bear with me, you gotta bear with me. Volunteers, bear with me for 1 more year. We will do a function for the volunteers in 2019. Do we have any last plugs? I don't know if we have a microphone. Merck had a microphone that he was going to run into the crowd. Anybody in the crowd need to say anything, want to say anything? Shut up, fatso, let's go drink. I'm open. All right, in the back.
Man with a mic. Just a little shameless plug. In the Claws auction tomorrow is a full suit, and I want to see that thing reach sky-high limits. Let's try and get some money for those donations, okay, guys?
Hello everybody, for those of you who haven't bumped into me yet, I'm JR the Ferret. It's a pleasure to meet y'all. Get up. Okay, cool. We got a ferret lover over there. Awesome. I actually was invited here by my buddy Olaf. who's running around with this little camera. But this is my second con. I go to Con Carolinas a lot, but this is my first fur con. And I'm just kind of blown away at just the sweetness and this the big family community of everyone here that I bumped into. And I haven't run into like any like fur Nazis or I mean a-holes, like a-holes. People are like, oh my God, that's just like so low rent, and I can't believe you'd walk around in that. So everybody here has just been absolute sweet and very welcoming, and I love it, and I'm gonna be back in 2018.
Quick side story for those of you who are familiar with our history. About 3 weeks before our May event, the Furry Raiders tried to target us for a meetup. Hey, there's this thing going on in Raleigh. Let's all have a big thing. So we kind of put out the "Please Don't Come" sign for the Furry Nazis back in May, and we have not seen one since.
For clarification, I go to the SCA. SCA Nazis are people who come by and like, excuse me, they didn't have Nikes in the medieval times. So that was more my, not the Nazis, but like you have to have like the triple 5-star outfit in order to be cool enough to hang out with them.
We don't like either kind.
Yes, exactly. Elitism or actual killer fascists. We just kind of draw a line. All right, do we have any final comments? Any hands going up? Because it's very hot and I'm sweaty and I'm fat. Those are bad combinations.
I thought I was the only one, dude.
Everyone, enjoy your weekend. Talk to the staff. If there's anything we can do to make an awesome weekend that much more awesome, please talk to us. I'm going to go find somewhere cool and cool off. Have a good weekend, folks.